Happy New Year, everybody. It is 2024, which means it's time for us to look at all the games that are coming out this year and pick our most anticipated. If you're new here, subscribe, comment which games you're most excited for, give this video a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, all that fun stuff. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the games that have release dates for this year, and then we're going to make our way towards the games that may or may not release this year. The first one is actually coming up very soon, and that is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Now, I haven't played much of the old Prince of Persia games, the 3D ones, but I remember looking at them and thinking they're really cool. I didn't have a GameCube at the time, so I never played them. I know they came out to other stuff, but I always looked at it as a GameCube game for I don't know why. This one looks awesome. It is a 2D action platformer, and I just love the art style, love the gameplay, and I've been a big fan of these kinds of games in the past, so I cannot wait to jump into it. And it's coming out in like 2 weeks, which is very exciting because it's very soon. I just adore this style of game. I'm not 100% sure if it's a Metroidvania or just an action platformer, but either way, I cannot wait. I remember seeing this trailer for the first time a while ago, and I was like, oh, this is awesome with the boss fights like you just saw. The action about it just looks really, really cool, so I cannot wait for this game. It's coming out January 18th. The next game coming out in February. This is the only game I'm excited for January. But in February, I have two huge games. Suicide Squad did not make the list. We'll talk about that maybe in the future. But the first one I want to talk about coming out in February is Helldivers 2. If you guys don't know, first Helldivers came out such a long time ago, and it was actually a top-down, so it's like the camera's from the top, and you would play as these heroes, and you'd have to work in co-op to go around, as you guys can see with the trailer here, in a very non-serious action-adventure game. Super fun. You'd basically start in your base, choose a mission, it would send you into the world, and you and your partners would have to work together to defeat the boss or pick up whatever the quest is at that location, and then fly back up. Friendly Fire was always on, which made it absolutely hilarious. It was just a fun co-op game that you get to play with your friends, and it is actually I remember it being very challenging. And now with this new one, it is actually a third person, so the camera is now behind instead of from a top down, which is a really cool upgrade. But you can see that they kept the 4-player co-op. They kept the friendly fire, which is that's gonna be a big thing, and as you guys can see, they really upped the graphics and the gameplay. I cannot wait for this game. This feels like it's gonna be such a fun time with my friends or with anyone else who wants to play with me. This is gonna be a really fun one. I don't know how big the game's gonna be, but hopefully it's as massive as the first one. Next, this is probably my most anticipated game of the year. It is, of course, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, aka Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but if you have played Final Fantasy VII, you know exactly what to expect here. You played Remake. This is the sequel to it. It's part 2 of 3, so there is another part. This is obviously taking Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but obviously things happen in that game that is very exciting to see what they're going to change up or add, or how they're going to recreate the original game. The combat, as you guys can see, they're bringing it back, and from what I saw from articles, they've actually upped the ante with a lot of different things. It's going to be a bit more of an open world, lots of stuff to do. It seems like it's going to be a massive version of the original of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I cannot wait. Again, not going to spend too much time because mostly the reason I'm excited for this one is all story based, and if you haven't played the first one, I don't want to ruin the surprise. Then we're going into March. Now, March actually only has 2 games I'm excited for. And the first one, I know some people are going to run to the comments and talk about it, but let me explain. The Outlast Trials. Now, I know what you're thinking. The game is already out. You are correct. The game is out on PC. And I do have a PC, obviously, and I can play this game. But The Outlast Trial is a horror co-op game, and I really want to play this with my friends. And all of my friends don't play PC gaming. They're all like consoles, Xbox, and PC. This game looks absolutely gross, terrifying, but there is a co-op aspect to it. So I stayed away from playing this on PC, and I'm adding it to the most anticipated of 2024 because it is coming out to consoles in March, and I cannot wait to check that out. Expect some videos from that as well in the future on this channel. Then, another really fun one in March is South Park Snow Day. They actually just released announced the release date not too long ago for this one. This is a weird one. I'm a huge fan of South Park. I've played the other 2, Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole, and I adored these ones. And this is a 4-player co-op game in the world of South Park, and they recreated the graphics in a very fun 3D style, as you guys can see there. I can't wait. I'm guessing you're going to be able to create your character once again. You're going to do a 4-player co-op, as you just saw on the trailer just there. You're gonna work together with all of these. I don't even know if it's a role. I don't know anything. All I need to know is 4-player co-op, South Park, and I'm in. And it's not a full price game, which is very exciting as well. I'm trying to get my wife into South Park, so hopefully I'll get her to try out this game with us. The next game I want to talk about is releasing in April. In April, there's this really cool JRPG coming out that was kickstarted a long time ago. I was not a part of the Kickstarter, but I did get to see this. It's called Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Now, if you never heard of this, it is a JRPG game where you can go and get up to 100 different characters on your team. If you guys have seen any of my videos, I just finished Octopath Traveler 2. I'm playing through Sea of Stars right now. I'm a huge fan of these pixel, old school style graphic RPG games. And this one seems like just that next one that I'm going to have to play. From what I understand, I don't know everything about it, but there's 100 different characters to collect, and there's a lot of different gameplay styles. There's like this war mode. I don't really know exactly what it is. There's obviously the tactical RPG style combat to it. I feel like it's going to be very exciting. I didn't look into it too much. I just remember seeing it in 2021, like 3 years ago, and then kept getting delayed, but it looks like now it is officially coming out in April, and I can't wait to check it out and give it a shot. And it's coming to Game Pass, which is my favorite thing right now, is just playing games on Xbox Game Pass. So very excited. Now, everything we're gonna look through next is supposed to release in 2024, but they don't have official dates yet. I wanted to start with these games I saw January, February, March, and April. Everything else has officially been said 2024, but you know how games are. Sometimes they get delayed, sometimes they release. So these next couple games may release this year, and I still wanted to talk about them. I actually, looking up this the information about this video, I noticed that there's not many games that have official dates yet, so it was a little bit trickier than I expected to make this video. But anyways, the first one is Hades 2. Now, Hades 2 is confirmed to be releasing in early access in 2024. I'm not the biggest fan of playing games in early access. I might still play Hades 2 in early access, but the official game could release late 2024, or obviously much later than that. If you guys have watched my most recent video, which if you haven't, go back and watch it. I just did a vlog talking about how during the Christmas break, I actually jumped into Hades for the second or third time, but for the first real time. I've never actually beaten the game, and I told myself I gotta play it. And playing through Hades, I've realized how such a special game it is, and I really am giving myself the objective that I need to finish Hades. I adore it, and Hades 2 just seems like just so much more of what the first game was. New character, but obviously going to be a bunch of new bosses. But I mean, look at the cutscenes. I cannot wait. I really hope this game comes out this year. I don't know how I feel about the early access. Like I said, I might skip that, but maybe we'll see. But right now, the idea is I'm gonna wait for the official release. I'm playing Hades on Switch, so I'd like to probably get Hades 2 on Switch as well, just to keep them on the same console. So it could release this year, and it could not. Now, the next game on our list is another favorite of mine, Little Nightmares 3. I adored Little Nightmares 1. I adored Little Nightmares 2. For some reason, these games, I had never heard of them. And then when I played Little Nightmares for the first time, the second one was already out. I played them back to back, and I was like, these games are incredible. They are so good. I feel like I don't want to say they're underrated, because I'm sure a lot of people have played them, but definitely they're not being talked about enough. Now with Little Nightmares 3, it is a Supermassive game that's making it, which is awesome. Those are the teams that made, if I remember correctly, like The Quarry, Until Dawn, and all those games. This is going to be a 2-player co-op version of Little Nightmares. I cannot wait to see how it connects, because every game connects slightly in the story. I can't wait to see how they connect it. There's going to be such a fun time. This is confirmed for 2024, but doesn't have a release date yet. Then, after that, we are getting Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. We've seen so many trailers of this game at this point. Every single Game Awards, Gamescom, Summer Game Fest, they always are showcasing this game. The first one was absolutely incredible. If you haven't played the first one, make sure to play with headphones on. It just adds to the experience. But man, that first game was just like 3 or 4 hours long. It looks like they are upping the ante with everything. Graphics, gameplay, combat, story. Everything about it seems to be upped. And look, this is probably going to be one of the most beautiful games we're going to play this year. Can't wait to see what they do with the story. It seems creepy. I can still hear the voices in their head and everything. That's going to be such a fun time. Very, very excited to see what they do with it. please, fingers crossed, it does release this year. Now, the last 2 games I want to talk about in this video probably will not release this year. Sorry, but I still wanted to mention them because they are games that have been announced, but no release date, and they haven't even been said to be potentially 2024, but I want to talk about them anyways. The first one is called The Casting of Frank Stone, which is a horror game like Until Dawn Quarry. So decision horror game where you walk around and make decisions on what you're doing by the team of Supermassive Games, but it's set in the world of Dead by Daylight, and I absolutely love the Dead by Daylight games. So I think that this partnership is kind of insane, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. A decision-based horror game in the world of Dead by Daylight. That's all we know so far. We have the title, but we don't even know anything else. Are any of the killers from the game in this? What are the characters that we're playing? There's not much about this, so it's very early, but I'm fingers crossed hoping we still get it this year. But I still wanted to mention. And last, and certainly not least, it's Hollow Knight 2, everybody. Like, for the love of God, Team Cherry, release this game. It's going to be 6 years this year since Hollow Knight, the first one. Like, you gotta release this game at some point. If you guys don't know, Hollow Knight Silksong is a sequel to Hollow Knight where you play as a new character. The first game came out and absolutely blew everyone's mind, including mine. I have a Hollow Knight tattoo, how much I love it. And there he is too. There he is. And ever since that first game, they announced the second one like a year or 2 later, Silksong, and every year, trailer here and there, and then silence. Nothing. No dates, no announcement, no developer tweets, anything. What is happening with this game? Is it coming out? I really hope so. In 2022, at the Xbox event, they showed off Hollow Knight Silksong and said, we promise this game will release before the end of next year. And here we are, the year 2023 ended, and we got nothing. So, unfortunately, there's been delays. I know it's a very small team. I just can't wait for this game. Just either release it soon, surprise it. I think they just gotta do like a out today, and I think that could happen this year. I think that if any year it's gonna release, it's gotta be this year. They've pushed it up far enough. I think that it looks like it's gonna be a quiet enough year that this could come out and really get the attention that it deserves, because there's not gonna be as much competition, hopefully, this year when it comes out. And that, everybody, are all the games that I have found are releasing or potentially releasing in 2024. Which games are you most excited for? Obviously, comment down below. If you made it all the way here, thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe because we got a lot more videos to talk about. And here's a fun one if you're still watching. Comment down below, what game would you like to be announced and released this year that hasn't been announced yet? I'll give you guys an example. I would absolutely adore a Legend of Zelda game where it's like not like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, like the old school ones, maybe like a remake of Wind Waker or a brand new one in that style. I think that would be like my #1 must-have. But I'd love to know what you guys would like to have. So comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.